Alright, let me start with something every KDP publisher has felt at least once. You may find a niche you like, you get excited, you open up your tools to start creating, and then you realize, wow, making activity books from scratch is actually harder than I thought. Whether it's the layout, the artwork, the instructions, the consistency, it always feels like there's just one more thing you need to fix. And I'll be honest, even after publishing for years, I still run into that same wall every time I decide to make something like a spot the difference book. That's why today's video is a bit different, because today I tried something new, a completely different method for creating this activity book, and I didn't expect it to be this much easier. Here's the twist. Instead of relying on the usual tools, instead of hitting generation limits, instead of paying subscriptions just to finish one book, I found a way to take the exact same things I normally use to create a book like this and plug them into a tool that's faster, cleaner, and lets you create an entire book without hitting walls. So stick with me because I want to show you why this new approach might just become your new go-to. Now, if this is your first time here, my name is Jeff, and this channel is all about becoming self-sufficient when it comes to making money online. So if this sounds like you, feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, let's get right to it. Now, before we do anything, let's go ahead and take a look at the Spot the Difference book on Amazon. So we see from Titan's quick view, the niche score is relatively decent at a 61, and the Titans Pro analysis shows demand is a 7, opportunity is a 9. And I've seen this with my research and with actually producing Spot the Difference books, that these books do well year round, and you can even niche down and do this by seasonality. Now, for the general Spot the Difference book, we're gonna see just over 2,000 results, which tells me that this niche as a whole is not too competitive. And when we look at the bestsellers rank, 263,000 on average on this first page, which means that these books are selling very, very well. There's a lot of potential here. I mean, we can even niche down and look at Spot the Difference book for kids, and we see total results drops down to just over 1,000. Now, this one's gonna be a lot more manageable to try to get ranked on the first couple pages of Amazon so that your book can be seen. And we see a niche score higher here at a 68. The Titans Pro analysis says demand is a 5, opportunity is a 9. The average bestsellers rank climbs up a little bit, but still pretty decent at 446,000 on average. And looking through the books here, we can see different types of Spot the Difference books for kids. Here's one ages 8 to 12, one here age 4 to 8, but they're both ranking very well at 19,000. This unicorn one is ranked at 47,000. And we're gonna see a lot more examples of that all littered throughout the first page. Here's another one right here, 57,000, and a few more, 92,000, 100,000, this one, 300,000. Now let's take a look at this example. This is a winter themed Spot the Difference book, and I just wanted to show you how great of a niche this is when it comes to different seasons. So when we go ahead and look at the graph right here, this is going to show us just basically the real-time bestsellers rank per day of this book. Now, this is for the past 30 days, and we're not really going to see anything here. But when we zoom out a little bit, we can start painting a picture here. You can see that the BSR starts to drop here closer to 0, which means that the sales are getting much better. But when we go 6 months, 1 year, and even all time, we can see kind of a pattern here. So in this area right here, this is Q4 of last year. You can see how well this book was selling, even had an all-time low here of under 20,000 as a bestsellers rank. And you can see it's doing a very similar kind of pattern this year, because as I'm filming this video, it is Q4, and I can see that this book is starting to sell a lot more. So that's a great thing about this niche, is that you can work on an evergreen type of sub niches and do more generic types of Spot the Difference books, or you can focus some on seasonality. For example, winter theme, Christmas theme, Halloween theme, and things of that nature. Now, if you don't know anything about Spot the Difference books, they're actually pretty simple. There's usually going to be 2 images, and there's going to be differences between the 2 images. So for example, here in the sample, there's going to be 10, as designated right here, 10 differences between this photo and the photo down here. For example, on the photo up here, you see this bird. Well, on the photo down here, there is no bird. So that is one difference. And then you just try to find the 10 differences. And that's really just how this book is As you can see, the next image, same kind of deal. 10 differences. Very simple to do, but if you don't know how to do things like Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, or have any kind of design tools, or you don't have any experience with editing programs or design programs, it's actually pretty difficult to create this type of book. On top of that, you have to be careful what kind of images you use for this book, because there's a lot of images that you're not able to use in KDP books. You have to make sure they're part of the public domain or have commercial rights to be able to use these images. But when we look at the numbers for this specific book, the bestsellers rank 45,105. We can see from Titan's quick view, it estimates that 30-day royalties, if this BSR were to keep up for the entire month, $400 to over $600 per month. Now let's go ahead and look at this specific niche, the Christmas Spot the Difference book. We can see the niche score right now really high at an 80. Like I said, filming this video right now, it is Q4, so the niche score kind of follows that. Now the Titans Pro analysis says demand is a 6, opportunity is a 9, and the average bestsellers rank is quickly dropping here at 341,000 average on the first page. Now looking through these books, you can see this Christmas one in the #1 organic ranking, 115,000 BSR. So this book is starting to sell. And then the next book, 136,000 BSR. The book after that, 199,000 BSR. The book after that, 77,000 BSR. And then the book after that, 45,000. And you can see a pattern here, 240,000, 136,000. And you can see these books are starting to sell. All Christmas themed Spot the Difference books. I see some here with family photos, nutcrackers, gingerbread house, some here with more cartoon style. So there's a variety of ways to go ahead and create this type of book. But the big key is to go ahead and create this type of book so it can be up on Amazon, so people can see it and people can buy your book. Now let's talk about the part that everyone gets stuck on. How do you actually create the pages? Because this is where most publishers tap out. They love the idea of Spot the Difference books, but the moment they sit down to design the first page, they realize how time-consuming, technical, and honestly how frustrating the process can be when you're trying to do everything manually. And that's exactly why I tried a completely different method this time. This is a method that doesn't require you to draw, it doesn't require you to have confusing design tools, and it doesn't require you to know anything about illustration, and doesn't force you to guess your way through 20 to 30 pages. Now, normally how I create this book is by using a simple prompt, as you can see right here on the bottom, and plugging it into ChatGPT and letting ChatGPT do the work. And as you can see with this prompt, it says to generate 2 separate cartoon style 2D images for children showing Santa's workshop booth inside a cheerful Christmas market with elves passing out gifts. And the 2 images must be fully independent and complete, with the second image featuring exactly 7 fun and easy to spot the differences compared to the first. So we can see this is the first image right here. Let's go ahead and take a close-up of it. You can see it looks very, very good. And I would say very appropriate for a Spot the Difference book in terms of quality. Now, when we look at the second image, you can see pretty much the same image, just a couple differences. So for example, I see one right here. You can see the elf's eyes right here versus the one down here, as well as the gift. You can see this one's blue and this one is red. So very fun. I mean, I'm even playing along with it right now. And so I tried a different prompt. This one is featuring a snowy train station with a little steam train arriving through snowflakes. You can see it looks very good, and it didn't actually generate the second image. So I just said the second image is missing, and you can see there it is right there. Same kind of deal, 7 differences. And ChatGPT even asked me if I wanted to list the 7 differences. So I said sure. And as you can see here it is. So I can go ahead and look for this and make sure that there are those 7 differences. Now, the issue with ChatGPT is that there are limitations to how many images you can generate on a daily basis, which makes it hard to create this type of book. If you want to create it in one day, you're going to have to pay for ChatGPT Plus, and a lot of people just don't want to pay for an AI subscription. So what I did is I actually used these prompts right here that were made specifically for ChatGPT, and I plugged them straight into Gemini to see what Nano Banana could do. And this is what it came up with. So here's the first image. So as we can see with the prompt, a cheerful winter village marketplace with candy canes, kids in warm clothes, and snow-covered stalls. Now, the rest of this prompt is the same with every prompt on this list. The only difference is going to be the topic or the theme, and basically the first sentence is basically going to be what the difference is with all of these topics. So you could technically look at these prompts and you could create your own theme here by just replacing this with something else. Everything else will stay the same. Now, this is what Nano Banana was able to come up with. So here's the first image. Now, keep in mind, this happened in just a few seconds, and to me, this looks actually pretty good. Now, when we look at the second image, it didn't actually produce it. So I just had the second image, and within a couple seconds, you can see here is the second image, and I can already see one difference. There's the top of the tree right here with a star, and then the second one is completely missing. But in terms of a spot the difference book for kids, this is gonna work out actually very, very well. So I did another prompt. Once again, just the difference is gonna be right here. This is gonna be featuring a snowy train station with a little steam train arriving through snowflakes. And here is the first image. Now, looking at it, you can see Winterville Station spelled correctly. So that is good. And then if we look at the second image, once again, I had to tell Gemini that the second image was missing. And then here is the second image. I can already see a difference. The black cat right here has no Santa's hat. And the second image, the black cat has a Santa's hat. And the thing about Gemini and Nano Banana is that you can produce these images fast, and the limitation or how many images you can produce on a daily basis is significantly higher than ChatGPT, which means that effectively you can do this for free and create your completed book, all probably in just one sitting. So I did one more for good measure. So this one is showing Santa's workshop booth inside a cheerful Christmas market with elves passing out gifts. And as we can see, here is the first image, looks pretty good. And then once again, just write in the second image or the second image is missing. And within a few seconds, it's gonna come up with a second image. And as you can see, looks very good here. Perfect for a children's spot the difference activity book. And then all you have to do is just download it right here. You can download size and download both of them. And what you want to do is go on over to an AI upscaler. You can use a free one like this one and just drag and drop them in here so that you can upscale the images. Now, the reason you want to upscale the images is because on the left picture right here, you can see it starts to get blurred out when you zoom into it. When we look at the right picture, you can see when you zoom in, it still looks very, very clear. So you want to go ahead and do that with all of the images that you get from AI. And then after that, all you have to do is put these together on a program like Canva. And if you want to learn that process, you can go ahead and download my free KDP Royalty Roadmap. The link is down below, and it's going to help you complete this entire book from beginning all the way to the upload process. Now, to give you an idea of how to lay this out on Canva, you just take your first image, you put it on top. You can take the second image, put it on the bottom, and just put something here like 7 differences, or you could create boxes like this and you can put them down here so that the customer can check it off. But this is just to give you an idea of how to actually put this book together. But like I said, if you want help with the whole process, you can download my free KDP Royalty Roadmap, and it'll help you do that and fill in the missing pieces that I wasn't able to show on this tutorial. Now, I did not come up with this prompt list myself. Someone did, and someone created this specifically for ChatGPT. But like I said, you can easily copy and paste this into Gemini and have Nano Banana do all the work so that you can save some money. You don't have to pay for ChatGPT Plus, and you can basically do it for free, other than this prompt list, which is not free, but it is not expensive at all. So if you want to check it out, you want to try these prompts for yourself, I'll go ahead and leave that link down below. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. You don't need to force complicated things and put them together. You don't need to spend hours fixing inconsistent pages, and you don't need a premium subscription just to get one complete activity book done. With the right prompts and the right AI tool to run them through, you can build a spot the difference book that looks clean, consistent, and actually is fun for kids without the stress that usually comes with making activity books from scratch. So if you want to try this method for yourself, I'll leave everything you need down in the description below. And if you're just getting started with KDP, don't forget to grab my free KDP royalty roadmap down below. It'll help you publish your first low or medium content book, even if you're starting from zero. If this video helped you see what's possible, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. With that being said, thanks for watching. Bye for now.